You get detained in a foreign country, or you're trying to leave a country as a coup unfolds. What suddenly matters is not how much visa-free travel you have, it's who picks up the phone. IMI went through which citizenship pulls the most weight when things go wrong abroad. Start with the thing every passport ranking and index gets wrong. Those rankings score one number: how many countries you can enter without a visa. That tells you nothing about who answers when you're robbed, hospitalized after a crash, arrested far from home, or caught in a country that's falling apart at the seams. That job belongs to consular protection, the help a government provides or does not provide its nationals when they're in trouble overseas. The baseline was set back in 1963 by the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations, which nearly every country operates under. It lays out what consular officers do for you, such as issue emergency travel documents, help victims of serious crime or accident, support the families of people who die overseas, and step in during a disaster or armed conflict. A separate clause gives anyone detained in a foreign country the right to contact their consulate and be visited by it. That's the clause that matters most when you're sitting in a cell in a country you barely know. Almost every government, though, treats all of that as discretionary. British guidance, for instance, states plainly that there is no legal right to consular assistance and that travellers shouldn't assume it. Australia's charter uses nearly identical language. Canada describes its service as support it may provide. So the passport you're counting on and the government you pay thousands if not millions to each year may owe you nothing when their moment to help you comes. By the way, these are the details that separate people who plan their sovereignty from people who just assume it. Inside IMI Sovereigns, our private community of investors and global citizens building out their passport portfolios right now, this is the stuff members compare notes on before they commit, learning from each other's mistakes instead of their own. If that's how you think, you'll feel at home there. Link and a nice discount are in the description below. So, if the promise on paper is that weak, what actually determines how much help you get? It comes down to three things. The first is how many missions your country has around the world. The second is how well those missions serve you once you need their help. The third is whether your government can physically get you out when a country collapses. Before you get your hopes up, no single citizenship wins on all three. Let's take reach first. In the Lowy Institute's Global Diplomacy Index, most recent edition, China had the largest mission network in the world at 274 diplomatic posts, with the United States just behind at 271. Turkey is now third with 252, ahead of both Japan and France, while Russia has slipped after losing diplomatic ground in the last 5 years. A wider network raises the odds that a government post from your country is near you when it counts, but reach only counts posts. It says nothing about the quality of support or whether they're willing to give it at all. Which brings us to the one passport that does something no ranking captures. Under the European Union's founding treaties, any of the 27 member states must give an unrepresented EU citizen the same consular protection it gives its own nationals. Unrepresented means you're in a non-EU country where your own government keeps no embassy able to help. In that situation, you can walk into the mission of any other member state and claim assistance on equal terms. So, what does that actually buy you? One Portuguese or Irish passport has a claim on the combined consular networks of all 27 member states. Non-EU family members travelling with you are covered on the same basis. This isn't a right that only exists on paper. During the COVID-19 pandemic, EU states coordinated to bring home more than 600,000 European citizens stranded by border closures. Moreover, a new EU emergency travel document for citizens who lose a passport where their own country has no mission took effect in December 2025. There are two limits to this power, though. One, there's no common minimum standard, so the quality of help varies with which country's mission you happen to reach. And two, the right belongs to EU citizens alone. British nationals lost it the day the United Kingdom left the EU, which is the clearest possible proof of what the pooled network was worth. A UK passport still buys a large national service, but it no longer opens 26 other countries' missions, and even that service is discretionary. Reach and pooling are one thing. Getting bodies onto a plane out of a war zone is a different test entirely, and it rewards countries with the logistics and the political nerve to act alone. When war broke out in Sudan in 2023, the United States, United Kingdom, France, Germany, China, and India each mounted evacuations, and several of them lifted other countries' nationals out alongside them. India is the case the rankings badly understate. Its network is smaller than China's or America's, yet it holds one of the longest records of large civilian evacuations anywhere. It's airlifted roughly 170,000 people out of Kuwait in 1990, and it ran major operations in Yemen in 2015 and Sudan in 2023. A single capable state with a capable military can move people that a country with more embassies simply cannot. For an EU citizen, evacuation first runs through your own member state, and the pooled framework second, which works beautifully when a large member state is leading, and gets thinner if you hold the passport of a small one with little airlift of its own. Now, for you, if you're weighing an investment migration route, the passport typically in question isn't European, it's Caribbean. The 5 citizenship by investment states, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia, are among the smallest countries on Earth, and their diplomatic footprints match. Each has only a handful of missions in major capitals like London, Washington, and Brussels, backed up by honorary consuls. On its own, direct consular reach across most of the world is thin. However, the safety net is the Commonwealth. All 5 are members of the Worldwide Union, and UK missions can assist nationals of other Commonwealth countries in places where their own government has no embassy. Given how few posts these states have, that backstop can cover most of the map. It's discretionary rather than guaranteed, and it has the same blind spot every passport shares, which we're about to get to. A Caribbean passport buys you mobility and a fallback, not a consular service of its own. There's a distinction here that trips up investors. The EU right attaches to citizenship and only citizenship. A residence permit or golden visa does not equate to the same privileges. You can hold an EU residence card for years, live in Europe the whole time, and still not have the treaty right until the day you naturalize. No member state sells citizenship directly anymore, so citizenship in the European Union mostly runs through naturalization after a qualifying period of residence or through descent. Now, there's one rule that contradicts almost everything we've covered to this point. That is, a country will generally not protect you inside the country of your other nationality because that state regards you as entirely its own. The UK won't normally help a dual national in the country of their other citizenship. Australia limits it to exceptional cases. Canada warns that local authorities may bar its officers from reaching you, and the United States cautions that its consuls may be turned away at the door as well. Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe, a British-Iranian dual national, was held in Iran from 2016 until her release in 2022 because Iran does not recognize dual nationality. It's refused UK consular officers access to her. So this is how the strongest passport goes dark. A second citizenship widens where you can travel and settle, but it gives you no leverage at all inside a country that also counts you as one of its own. And that's the exact problem you have to manage the moment you're holding 2 or more passports, which one you show at which border, and how you avoid walking straight into the blind spot we just covered. We made a video on how to travel with 2 or more passports without running into these issues, and it's the natural next watch from here. Go check it out, and subscribe so you don't miss any analytical takes like this. Thanks for watching.